We're in the homestead kitchen today. I am going to make two things today for myself, and I thought I'd share them with you. As the seasons are changing, we're in the winter-spring kind of season. It can be challenging to your health. That's when a lot of colds go around, flu. I heard someone was worried about that the other day. So these are a couple things that will help stimulate your immune system and buffer your digestive system. A lot of times coming out of winter, your digestive system is sort of as flowing freely as the frozen ditches. And everything's just sluggish and slow. It's a good time to start to think about maybe detoxing and cleaning the winter sludge out of your system, but not for a little bit yet. So we're just going to start gently moving it. A lot of us in our house have found that your stomach's a little slow. Food doesn't digest as fast, so you're not hungry at mealtime maybe from the last meal. That's okay. The first thing I'm going to make to that end is called CCFT. Stands for coriander, cumin, and fennel. I bought my spices, and you can see this is a health food store thing, so I get them in bulk, because if you get them at the store, it's a great place to get small quantities, but you're going to pay as much or more for this bottle than the spices inside of it. So I get the bottle, but then I refill it. So just to use more spices, that's a little hint. You can do this by the cup. You can put it in a tea strainer. I use my French press coffee pot. And the quantities, you know, it's kind of what you like. I use a pinch of coriander, about the same amount. That's probably about half a teaspoon of cumin. And I'm not a huge fennel person. Fennel is such a great digestive. Sometimes in the evenings, especially if my stomach's a little off or I ate too much for dinner, it happens. You just put a couple fennel seeds under your tongue and suck on them until you kind of are tired of them, and it will help your digestion a little bit. So I'm just going to put a few shakes in. If you can see, that's kind of what it looks like in the bottom of my pot. Add hot water. You might add a little licorice to it if you like some sweet, or a little honey. Once I show you the spiced honey, you might put a little bit of that in, although they might be competing tastes. But your body will kind of tell you what sounds good too, and you can experiment and try. I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes. That was freshly boiling water, so it'll take 10 minutes before I can even drink it anyway. So coriander, cumin, fennel, they're three super spices to spark up your digestion, get things moving nicely. I put them in a tea, so it's a nice hot drink. And there you go. There's one thing to help you transition through this winter-spring season. The other thing is boo candy. Well, you can call it whatever you want. Spiced honey. And we're going to go ahead and make some. This spiced honey is a great immune booster. We had a question not too long ago about inflammation. All of these spices are super spices for digestion, and it's got a lot of turmeric in it, which is a super antiviral and anti-inflammatory. Ginger stimulates your digestion, helps balance things out. Cinnamon will warm it up and get things moving, as will cloves. Cloves is a nice warming spice for this time of year when, like I said, everything's kind of cold and frozen. So you can make this in a half recipe. This recipe in particular, I'm using 1 cup of honey. I'm going to add a teaspoon of cloves, and I will put this recipe in the notes so you don't have to try and remember it. Teaspoon of cloves. You'll notice again I've got all of these spices in bulk because I use them a lot for a lot of different things. Double the cloves of cinnamon. Ginger. I am going to use double the cinnamon. So it's a tablespoon and a teaspoon. So ginger is your super magic spice. The other really good one, this takes a lot of turmeric. And I'm actually putting 6 tablespoons of turmeric in. That'd be a really generous 1/3 of a cup. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is really super spicy. When I first made it, I found that if I halved all the spices, it was easier for the kids to eat. They didn't like the spice. Now we're kind of used to it, and the full dose is actually pretty yummy. This is local honey. It had crystallized. I warmed it up a little bit so I could actually stir it. Some people would put it on the cutting board once it's all crystallized and just use a knife, but I'm a little afraid of the mess and the cleanup with that. So there you go. Spiced honey. Boost your immune system through this cold season. You can put a dab in your coffee, a dab in your tea. You can put it on your finger and taste it. So, little taste on your finger. It'll perk you right up. It'll wake you up, let me tell you. I like it in hot chocolate too. Just a little bit. Gives it a little more interest. Makes it exciting. So, there's the CCFT and the spiced honey. Little ways from your kitchen, out of your spice cabinet. Low cost ways to keep yourself healthy for your homestead work. This is Jill from the Homestead Kitchen.